Good Friday morning. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still. Well, we're okay. We didn't get the phasing of the storm system, and as a result, only about a 10 or 15-minute window in northern Martin, Pitt, and Bertie County that we did have some of the flakes flying around the area earlier this morning. This is kind of a little bit of a precursor here because as we go on through the next several days, we're going to be seeing the Arctic air getting back involved in our weather pattern. Yes, winter has returned for us here in Eastern Carolina. Everybody's sending me emails and Facebook postings wanting to know, when's winter? Oh, you keep talking about this turnaround. Well, it's a quick, sharp cold shot that's coming in as we clear out by later on this morning. Sunny and seasonal weather as we go on through the weekend here. And as I mentioned, the Arctic will be arriving as we head in through the middle of next week. Some of the coldest air, not only that we've seen just this year, some of the coldest air we've seen in the last 18 to 24 months is going to be headed into us here in Eastern Carolina. Because remember, last winter wasn't all that cold for us. So that's something we'll be tracking for next week. Rainfall-wise, now, I can guarantee it wasn't 52.06 inches in Goldsboro. A little bit of a misreport there for the automated station. But generally, you'll see 3/4 of an inch to a half an inch of rainfall around the east. Good soaking rain, and what this was basically caused by was this surge of warm air that we've had here across the east as we've gone through the last week or so. If you remember, last Thursday and Friday, I was saying that no need to book your flights for the Bahamas because the Bahamas are coming to us. We had the warmth. We also had the high moisture, the high dew point air. In fact, take a look at highs yesterday with the sunshine. Jacksonville, Morehead City, we broke into the 70s. We've been stuck into the 50s, though, in Ahoskie, Martin, Pitt, Bertie County for about 36 to 48 hours straight. So now at least the sunshine is returning for us here. My Storm Track 12 forecast shows we are quickly clearing out for this morning. A little bit of a gusty northwesterly wind, especially early on into the afternoon hours here. So we do have a wind advisory in effect until 10 o'clock for down East Carteret County, as well as a coastal flood advisory, just because those northwesterly winds are going to push the sound levels 2 or 3 feet above normal. But the positive side is high pressure slides in tonight. We watch the winds drop down. And it's going to be a cold one, talking about low to mid-20s for inland spots and even below freezing at the beaches with the clear skies and the light winds. As we head through tomorrow, maybe a few clouds in the upper levels as a little bit of a jet streak comes on by, but not really anticipating much cloud cover, and return back to normal temperatures. Again, mid-50s, that's where we should be for this time of year with light and variable winds. Again, if you'll notice, all that warmth air that we had the last week coming out of the Bahamas has now been pushed off the coast, and now our attention focuses across the north. Yes, look how cold central Canada is, and that is the brutally cold air that is going to get unleashed into the eastern United States as we head on in through next week. Even going down through the Rockies and the desert Southwest, that cold air has pressed in here. So the East Coast was still the last little bit of warmth because of that upper level ridge that was holding on. But now we're going to start to see a bit of a transition. And here's what I'm talking about as we go to the jet stream level here. Again, remember last week we had that upper level ridge that was just pumping that warmth here off the Bahamas and the desert and the southeast coast here. Well, now that's been beaten down. Again, that colder air remains bottled up in Canada. But as we go on through this weekend and early next week, it is going to get a chance to break free and come down here. Notice by the time we hit Saturday and Sunday, we've got more of a zonal flow across here, so a warmth coming out of the desert Southwest, or at least somewhat warm. But now as we go into next week, that cold air is going to be amassing across southern Canada. Look, by Sunday and Monday, it starts to get on the move here. And again, it's not a sharp trough that develops over the eastern United States. It's just the whole polar vortex that basically comes south of Hudson Bay. So a very broad trough all across the central and eastern U.S. We've got the cold air that presses in as that polar vortex sits down south of Hudson Bay. And you'll notice by the time we hit Monday and Tuesday of next week, our air is coming out of that cold source region of central Canada. Get used to this because this is what we're going to see as we go through the end of January into February, that these periodic intrusions of this chunk of Arctic air. Now, this one's kind of in and out. It relaxes a little bit as we do head on into the second half of next week and going into next weekend. But you'll definitely see it reflected in the numbers here. High temperatures only into the 40s for today. We're getting our way into the seasonal mid-50s for tomorrow. Southwesterly wind gets us into the temps in the 60s as we go in through the day on Sunday. However, First Arctic front comes through, a bit of a setback in here for temperatures as we go in through Monday. And then look, that polar vortex really sitting down and pumping that cold Arctic air down over us for Tuesday and Wednesday. High temperatures on Tuesday. We'll be lucky to get into the 40s and probably looking at early morning lows on Wednesday morning into the teens. So again, some of the coldest air we've seen in the last year and a half to 2 years potentially could be heading our way as we head on in through next week. Storm system from yesterday never really could get its act together. We saw the upper level low kind of separated by an hour or so from the deep tropical moisture, and as a result, didn't get that moisture in there for any of that changeover. But again, we now are tracking sunshine for us here in eastern Carolina, at least for the next 7 days practically. Again, maybe a few high clouds from time to time because of the jet stream riding over us here. But watch what Future Track shows here as we go through the morning hours here. By 10 o'clock, the clouds are done with. Again, still some of those gusty northwesterly winds initially on this morning. But as the center of the high, which you can kind of see there just north of Charlotte, by tonight, that settles right over us going overnight tonight. And as a result, clear skies and light winds, we drop down into the 20s over for temperatures in inland spots. And then eventually the high gets off the coast, winds go more south-southwesterly, and we'll gradually start to warm things back up a little bit as we head on in through the day tomorrow. Now, watch as you get to Chicago at this time period. See the cloud cover there? That's the first charge of the Arctic front, and that is going to be working southbound with us here as we go through Sunday. But out ahead of it, you notice our winds go southwesterly, so we do warm temperatures back up. So my planning forecast goes like this for you. Brief, sharp, cold shot in here for today. Back to more seasonal levels with sunshine tomorrow and going into Sunday. And then we do watch the first Arctic front giving us temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s on Monday. There's that sharp Arctic shot coming our way for Tuesday. And again, Wednesday morning could be the coldest we've seen here in quite a while. Have yourself a good weekend. I'm off on Monday, but Tori will continue to keep you updated as we go on through this weekend and early next week. And I'll catch you on Tuesday. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still.